Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the price of Ethereum is still in this short-term cool-off that I've been talking about for around 4 days now. And by the way, this right here is the 12-hour Ethereum to US dollar chart, and the parabolic stopper inverse indicator on this chart has just flipped into the red, which is technically a bearish signal, but like I said in my recent Bitcoin update video, if you watched that, you would already know what I'm about to say. But because we sometimes see some false signals in this indicator from time to time, ideally we need to be looking for some more confirmation, like for example a downtrend forming in the RSI or a possible bearish cross in the MACD. And if you're looking at the 12-hour Ethereum MACD, we're actually getting really close to a possible bearish cross, but we haven't seen one just yet. And then if we do eventually see one, we need to also see a 12-hour candle close to actually confirm that bearish cross in place. Meanwhile, the 12-hour Ethereum RSI is still cooling off, as I've been talking about for around 4 days now. We are due for a cool off because we were in overbought territories. And so believe it or not, but this is actually great to see, especially in an uptrend, because if the RSI resets down towards neutral values, then that gives us more room to the upside later on. So having these short-term cool-offs along an uptrend is actually really healthy for the uptrend, because otherwise if we saw absolutely no bearish price action and we just went straight to the upside, then indicators like the RSI would get extremely overbought very quickly, and then when it comes time for us to eventually see a cool-off, instead of just seeing a relatively tame cool-off like what we're seeing at the moment, we would see a massive crash in the price of Ethereum if we didn't see constant cool-offs in the price of Ethereum, resetting some of these indicators like the RSI. And while we're on the 12-hour Ethereum chart, technically speaking, this price target at around 4,000 is still in play, but also, like I've been saying for a while now on the channel, just because we have a price target at 4,000, that does not mean we're going to go straight to 4,000, because it is much more likely that we're going to see some short-term cool-offs along the way. And once again, I've been letting you know that pretty much ever since the breakout right down here. And zooming out to the daily Ethereum chart, we have our Fibonacci levels. First of all, the golden pockets coming in at around 3,500, which has been putting some pressure on the price of Ethereum over the past few days. So that is still an important level of resistance to pay attention to, once again at around 3,500 going up towards around 3.6k. And as for a level of support to pay attention to, I'll be looking at around 3.2k to 3.3k, which was acting as previous resistance, and normally when we break resistance, that acts as new support. And anything below 3.2k, I'll be looking at around 30.50. And when you zoom further out on the daily Ethereum chart, obviously the larger trend here is looking more bullish than bearish. We've broken above a lot of important points of resistance. And if you've been watching my recent Ethereum updates over the past few days, you'll know that I've been comparing this price action to what we saw in late July and early August last year. And if I actually zoom into that price action, what we can see in the middle of that bullish move was a short-term cool-off that lasted for around 3 to 4 days if you're going from the high to the low. And by the way, from the highest point to the lowest point in that short-term cool-off, that was nearly a 10% pullback in the price of Ethereum. And if you're comparing that to the current day price action, from the highest point so far to the lowest point so far, that has been around a 6% pullback approximately. And it is important to mention that just because we saw something play out last time, it doesn't mean it's definitely going to play out again this time the exact same. But all I'm saying is this type of price action is certainly not out of the ordinary. We have seen this price action multiple times before. And so when you're talking about the larger timeframes and these larger moves in the market, we would only start flipping more bearish again if we start breaking below some of these previous highs, like for example this high coming in at around 30.50, because looking back in July and early August last year, we did not break below those previous highs. We just played out a short-term cool-off and continued higher later on. So that is why it is still important to pay attention to those levels of support that I just mentioned earlier. But at least as of right now, at the time of recording this video, Ethereum is still looking more bullish than bearish on the larger timeframes, and I'll be sure to keep you updated if anything changes. And the same thing can also be said about the Ethereum short positions. This right here is the percentage of Ethereum short positions on the Binance exchange and the Bybit exchange, which are right now still sitting pretty close to record highs, which for the beginners out there basically means there's still a lot of people in the market betting money on the price of Ethereum going much lower. And if you're looking at years worth of history, normally when we see a lot of people betting money that Ethereum is going to go much lower, we actually end up seeing a lot more bullish price action just around the corner. So basically, if history is any indication, then when we see a lot of shorts active in the markets, previously that has been a pretty good buying opportunity so far. And then when the short positions are at these record low levels, they are usually a pretty good time to start scaling out of the markets. But I want to make it clear that that is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what has happened throughout years worth of history and what is most likely to occur moving forward. And of course, if you're looking at the 3-day Ethereum chart, both the RSI and the MACD are still trending to the upside here, which is technically a bullish signal. But as I mentioned in my previous Ethereum update video that I posted yesterday on the channel, in the 3-day Ethereum RSI, we have this massive line of resistance that started at the beginning of last year. And apart from that first touch point at the start of last year, every single other touch point that we've seen along this line of resistance has basically formed a top in the price of Ethereum, and more bearish price action followed after those signals. Now, obviously, there are some differences around this time compared to these previous times. For example, the RSI is nowhere near overbought on the 3-day time frame, whereas these previous time periods, the RSI was either overbought or very close to overbought, meaning that we did not have a lot more room to the upside in the 3-day RSI on those previous time periods. But right now, technically, we do have more room to the upside before we start getting overbought on the 3-day chart. But regardless of that, this is still something important to pay attention to, because if I'm going to tell you about the bullish signals on the chart, if I spot an important bearish signal, I also need to let you know about it. And just giving you a quick update in the Bitcoin dominance today, this right here is the daily time frame for the Bitcoin dominance, and the current short-term trend at the moment is technically more bearish than bullish, especially if you zoom into the 4-hour time frame. Technically speaking, we are still playing out this bear flag with a technical price target down towards around 41.7% Bitcoin dominance. But with the recent pullback in crypto prices, we have seen a slight increase in the Bitcoin dominance, because usually Bitcoin holds up a little bit better than a lot of altcoins out there when the entire crypto market is having a bit of a pullback. But for now, this still doesn't change the fact that this bear flag is still active on the charts. And in case you were new to this channel, if the Bitcoin dominance is trending to the downside, that is bullish for the overall altcoin market, at least compared to Bitcoin. But then when the Bitcoin dominance is trending back to the upside, that is more bullish for Bitcoin than the altcoins. And by the way, if you want to get extra updates on what I'm doing with my personal altcoins, for example, how I just took some profits out of my Solana, then make sure to follow me over on my Twitter for extra updates just like this throughout the day. And you can find a link to my official Twitter account in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. But anyway, if you found this video useful or simply enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. And before you click off, if you want to make more money in crypto, even if prices are going down, then these 2 videos popping up right here on your screen are definitely for you to watch. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.